Welcome back, everyone. It's just another day in the life as a military wife. And a couple weeks ago, I threw out a question on several forums I'm a part of. It was a paraphrase of a child song. What do you do in the summertime when all the world is green? And I got some really awesome responses. So we're going to talk about low-cost activities to do this summer, considering money is tight for people. So, with that, I am your host, Sam Wolf, and you are listening to Life of a Military Wife. So, as I mentioned before, that song, Oh, What Do You Do in the Summertime, is one I learned as a kid in church, and I thought it would be a fun way to kind of throw that question out to social media and get feedback from a lot of different families and people on what they do. And I was specifically looking for lower cost items. I know that a lot of families have got tight budgets this summer. And so just trying to find stuff that you can do that will be little to no cost, but still help, make your summer fun. And with that, I'm going to go through the list of suggestions that people threw out there. A lot of these are things that our family has done or does. Some are ones we've not done as much. But just wanted to share those with you. The first one was libraries. That one was mentioned really frequently. And I love the public library. I grew up going to the public library. I've always had a library card. I still have a library card. I have multiple library cards now because I've got a public library card, and then we use the military libraries as well. And the military library system is incredible because they can do interlibrary loans, which allow you to borrow books from other places. And sometimes if it's a rather popular book that you're looking for that they no longer have, they're even able to purchase it. The other thing I love about military libraries, they have really great summer programs and activities for kids. Our library that we've been going to for a couple of years now will during the summer have a Lego club. They'll have craft clubs, cooking clubs, science stuff. They have story time. They literally have an activity every single day. And then this year, they've teamed up with several museums and the zoo and other organizations who are going to come and do special stuff once a week with them. My kids are so excited about this. And that's not to mention summer reading programs. I grew up doing summer reading programs as a kid. We did that every single summer. And my kids do it now. And I love that our library extends the summer reading program to include the parents. So I can still participate in summer reading programs. It's free. It's fun. It encourages my kids to read. And I think reading is super important. That said, we'll move on to the next one, pools. So growing up in a place where pools were ubiquitous, everyone knew someone who had a pool, and the public pools were relatively inexpensive. Swimming was a huge thing. And where I grew up, swim lessons were not very expensive. We've lived in places where they were more expensive. Here, where we are living currently, they're not so much as expensive as they're really competitive to get into. We have a really hard time finding openings for swim lessons because everybody wants to do them. So my kids have taken swim lessons in previous years. We've really enjoyed that. I love it because I get to be in the pool. So that has always been a good thing for us. But yeah, I love pools. Public pools, private pools, just a pool is a great place. I have not done as much lake swimming because I grew up in a place where lakes and rivers were just not very common sources of water. You can probably guess what I'm referring to. But because of that, I grew up swimming in a pool. And I have since become more comfortable swimming at a beach or swimming in a lake or whatever. And if you have a good lake that or a nice beach near you, those are really great options. A lot of those are relatively cost effective. So that's a good option as well, especially since I know in some places public pools can be a little pricey. Um, the next one is a program. It's called Kids Bowl Free. And the great thing about the Kids Bowl Free program is anybody can do it. It's not just military families. But for military families, one of the awesome options is a lot of the military installations overseas have bowling alleys that participate in the Kids Bowl Free program. And with the Kids Bowl Free program, the kids get to bowl free once a week, like basically all costs included. I think my one year we had to pay for shoes, one year we didn't. Anyway, but basically it's pretty much free, straightforward. And my kids love bowling. So that has always been a great program we've really enjoyed. Kids Bowl Free, literally Google it. You'll find the website. It's really straightforward to sign up and be able to do it. And honestly, I was surprised this year because in previous years, there's only been maybe one or two bowling alleys near us that have been participating. This year, there was like 5. So you can find one that's relatively close to you. So Kids Bowl Free, that's a good one. And the other one is visiting family. This is something we do pretty frequently. The upside to visiting family is typically, if you're on good terms with that family, you can stay with them, which saves you money from hotels and other stuff. But it's just keeping those visits low cost. We have some family that we do stuff with and they want to go a lot of places and do a lot of things. And most years that's been perfectly fine. This year we can't fit that into our budget. So we're not going to be doing as much, pricey things. But visiting family is always a good one. Or visiting friends. As a military family, we have friends all over the world. So there has been times where we've stopped and stayed with friends on the way to visiting with family. And that way we get to see our friends and our family bundling. And it also saves some expenses from the traveling. The next one is parks and recreation sports teams. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is one of the moms pointed this out, and it's something we've experienced too. Some places you really don't have a lot of options. There's really only one league around. Other locations, there's multiple leagues. But different leagues will vary in prices for sports teams. And we have found that some of the most cost-effective and they're good quality and they're cost-effective is the Parks and Rec teams. Our boys have participated in baseball for multiple years, and we have done at least 2 years with Parks and Rec because they were the most economical organization where we were located. So yeah, that's the thing. If your kids want to do sports, don't just put them on the first team you find. Really shop around and find out what the quality level is of the different leagues, because you may end up paying a whole lot of money for something that just doesn't fit your kids. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, I really love that one of the other moms pointed that one out because I think Parks and Rec often gets overlooked. Vacation Bible School. Now, as far as I know, all of the Vacation Bible schools I have encountered have been free. I don't know if they all are. I do know that locally there are 3 Vacation Bible schools in my area this year. One is being run by the Chaplains Association on our post, and my kids are participating in that one. We have a friend whose husband is a chaplain on post, and she's the one who gave us all the information about it. So just, check with your Chaplains Association. Vacation Bible School is a great option. It's the one my kids are participating in is 3 hours for a week, and they're absolutely loving it. So the next one is barbecues with friends, potlucks. Just get together with people. Water balloons are super cheap. You can get a pack of 100 water balloons at the dollar store. And if you get on Pinterest, there's lots of fun games you can play, or you can just have a good old fashioned water balloon fight, which I'm a huge fan of. Super soakers, always fun. If you already have them, that's no additional cost. You just add the water. So that's always something that I've enjoyed. Barbecues with friends, water fights, those sorts of things. It's kind of weird. Yeah, my brain always goes to water fights. Water fights were huge when I was a kid. Like my mom got in on them. We would wash the car, and we loved it whenever mom said, "Hey, it's time to wash the car or the van." Because that meant we're going to clean the car or van and then we're going to have a water fight because that's just what always happened. And my mom participated. She like totally enjoyed it. That was just what our family did. And I thought it was a blast. So, clean the car, have a water fight, also bundling. Make some chores fun. The other one is Blue Star Museums. I've covered in a whole episode a couple weeks back, Blue Star Museums. Those are free or low cost museums for military families. It changes every year. And then one of the last things that was brought up was hikes and camping. And in regards to hikes, this last year, encountered, or was it a year or two ago? Anyway, it's been a little bit. It's an app. It's called AllTrails, and it has become really handy for finding like hikes that my kids can do. I like getting out and being physically active. My kids burn really easy, so I'm always checking the UV index, but there's a lot of really pretty places to see locally. And maybe when you go visit family or friends, there's hiking trails that you don't know about. The great thing about AllTrails is people can then write reviews. Like, it's great for strollers, it's good for pets, it's good for kids, it's a little difficult. Wear tennis shoes. They'll have tips and pointers for all of the different trails and hikes, as well as detailed descriptions and often lots of photos. I think I said pictures already. Anyway, there's lots of pictures usually. And that gives you a really good idea of what to plan, because I have had the awkward experience of wanting to take kids out hiking and having picked one that was just not suitable for their ability. And it was a miserable experience. And I don't want that for my kids. I really want, when we get out into nature, to have fun. I particularly enjoy hikes with waterfalls and water. I really like water. I think that's kind of the theme of this episode. I like playing in water. Playing in water is fun. But anyway, I particularly enjoy waterfalls, hikes with waterfalls and stuff. The kids find them really pretty and fascinating. And so those are always ones I look forward to. The last one was camping, basically getting outdoors. Camping is a very low-cost family vacation. It was what we did most of growing up because that's what my family could afford. But the thing is, with camping, you can go experience and see all sorts of new stuff. And this was one of my absolute favorite things that my mother would do. My mom was not somebody who enjoyed living in a city all the time. She really loved the outdoors. She loved camping, and she just liked being out in nature. And because my mom was an elementary school teacher, she had summer vacation off with us kids. And very frequently, she would come home at some point during the summer and be like, I'm done. I'm done with the city. I'm done with this. Let's go somewhere. Let's go camping. And quite literally, at a moment's notice, we would just drop everything and go camping. And later on, when we had jobs and stuff going on when we were teenagers, the level of spontaneity dropped. But very frequently, she'd be like, all right. And then she'd roll out a map of the state. And she's like, where are we going to go this time? And we'd pick somewhere new. And we would go. And it would be a total adventure because we'd have no idea what was there and what was available. And we would just go to some visitors center and get maps and ask what's going on. And we'd find like these little hole in the wall museums that were inexpensive, that had really some of the coolest artifacts, or we'd find some of the most awesome nature walks that I've ever seen. We would just go to some of the most random places, and we just had so much fun. I remember one time we packed just everything up and just pieced out, and the campsite we picked, like, we didn't realize it was a horse camp. That is the first time I had ever experienced horse flies. We were the only family there, so it wasn't too bad initially. The day we left, a family showed up with horses, and so the flies became a little bit more, you know, incessant-ish anyway, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of just funny experiences. We went up into the mountains, camped near a lake for a week, and for 2 whole days straight, we were reined in. So we ended up spending the entire time in the tent playing card games and having our mom read us books, and it was so much fun. You know what? It didn't really faze us. Like, we had fun, even though it was sopping wet outside, and we didn't go home. We just waited for the rain to stop, and we continued to have fun. And it was just, these are some of my best memories, my absolute favorite memories. That's when I learned how to swim in lakes, because there's not a lot of pools in the mountain. And one time we went camping with my stepdad and my mom. This was when I was in college, and I absolutely loved this trip. We went to a place, and my stepdad had to reserve it way in advance because it was hard. It was on an island in the middle of this body of water, and we had to boat and canoe out to the campsite. And that was just an awesome experience. Like, I just felt like such an adventurer, such like an outdoors person, you know. I got to canoe to a campsite and all of that. Like, I don't know. It was, you know, it just felt cool, and it was a lot of fun. And because we were all older at the time, my youngest sibling was a teenager, it was not a big deal. Probably not maybe the best choice if you have toddlers, but for teenagers and college students, it was a really great family vacation. And because we had all of the camping gear, we had a lot of military surplus because my uncle had been in the military. We had all of the gear, and so it was gas, food, and, you know, a few other items, but basically it was a really low cost vacation. And I just have some of the best memories from those hikes and those canoe trips, and just being able to just go explore. Now I love that I can review things online before I go places, but I kind of feel bad like my kids are being cheated from that level of spontaneity, because as a mother, I am a little more cautious. My mom was a very adventurous person and a very confident person. Her thing was, if we forget something, we'll figure it out. And she really got that from her dad. I'm a little bit more of a stressor, and so I like to plan and overplan. So a little bit less spontaneity with my family with outings, but I'm still trying to get them outdoors and do those sorts of things that I really enjoyed as a kid. So I hope that this episode was helpful. I know that things are tight economically for a lot of people right now, but I just wanted to help you, you know, maybe remember things that you had forgotten, or find out about some new resources so that you can have those fun memory building experiences this summer and still keep your budget under control. That said, I am your host, Sam Wolf, and thank you. This is Life of a Military Wife.